Hey, good afternoon. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about something that occurred to me. I tend to be a reflective person. Sometimes that's good, sometimes it's not so good. But anyway, I tend to reflect a lot, and so I want to um, tell you about an experience I had this week. And as I'm thinking about, I know, it's still June, and some of you teachers don't want to hear this word, but school. It's almost time to go back. And anyway, summer's time to refresh ourselves and to actually think about what's going on and to actually become a better teacher. And so years ago, I would try to take classes of something that I really wasn't, um, had no experience in, so that I would be outside of my comfort zone. And so uh, I hadn't done that for a while. And let me just tell you about an experience. When I was little, I was in an art class at a small school, and the teacher actually told me that my project was not good enough to hang up for the back to school night. And and then she said, "We'll hang it here in the classroom." And well, I knew even as a little kid that parents weren't coming into the classrooms; they were coming to the hallway. And so um, I've also worked with people that want students' projects to be absolutely perfect. Well, the only way they're going to be perfect, or what you imagine to be perfect, is if you do them for them. And then who does the learning? The teacher does the learning, right? And so what I wanted to talk to you about is this past week, people that know me and work with me know that I don't ever volunteer to do the posters. I don't volunteer to do um, anything that has to do with illustrating. And I think it has to go back to that comment that my teacher made to me. And then, honestly, as a student and as a teacher, I would much rather work an algebraic problem or do a science experiment because I knew that I was good or that I could be successful in those things. And I didn't have near the amount of anxiety that I had as I would in an art class. And so that may sound weird, but even though I play a lot of musical instruments, the artistic piece I never developed because I think I shut down when that teacher said that to me. And then being a somewhat reserved person anyway, I didn't really try it anymore. And so I think about that, like the students we serve, the teachers we work with, and even from an administrator's perspective, what is their view of the child or the teacher, or the people that we're working with? I kind of relate it to this. Do we look at them as what they are right now? Or do we look at them as what they can become? And are we willing to accept some things that may be different? And let me show you an example. So if you've been watching, if you've seen any of my posts this week, you'll see that I went to Pinot's Palette. Okay, I didn't drink any of the wine, although I thought I'd probably need it to be successful, but I didn't have any wine this time. And so there's some things that I'm going to show you, and then I'm going to give you my reflection on it in just a minute, what I learned. And so I just want to share it with you. So, okay. See, even right now, I'm a little bit embarrassed to show you my work. So let me show you my work. How do you like my picture of the Eiffel Tower? Just kidding. Okay, so, this was my very first attempt this week. I'm not saying it's anything miraculous, but for me, it was something that I was actually like, it kind of looks like the model. Not really. It's my own personal touch. But I actually was kind of proud of myself because I barely know my colors. I can't even draw stick figures well for people to identify them. And so I was lucky enough to be invited again to a birthday party at the same place. And so because I had a fairly successful experience that night, I was able to go back again. And I actually looked forward to it with enthusiasm. And so let me tell you about this one. What made me feel like I'm successful? Okay, so it may or may not be an awesome picture, but I left knowing that I completed it and it's something that I did. And I have to just say, this lady, Abby at Pinot's Palette, kudos to her. She had the patience, I don't know of what. She was very, very patient. So just that aspect made me think about myself and my own teaching career. And I thought, when I work with kids, I want to actually be very patient. So like reading and math and science might come very easy for me. Do I show any impatience when I'm working with the kids? And if so, let me correct that right now. Okay? Because they're just trying to learn. And if that one comment from my teacher many years ago has inhibited me from actually wanting to even learn anything more about art, and it still affects me today because I'm no longer a second grader, if it still impacts me today, how much more so do we impact the kids we have day to day? And so what I want to say about that is the teacher was very patient. She had a model to follow. She did it step by step. So her directions were very explicit. They were explicit and they were able to be followed. And there was also room for grace. My product didn't have to look exactly like hers. There was always room for some creativity. And so knowing that, at the very beginning, I was asking my partner, is this where I put the white line? I was so nervous that I was going to make a mistake and that my product wouldn't even be something worth I want to take home. So anyway, I had a positive experience, and then I was invited to a birthday party and I went. And so let me show you the product now that I did. Okay, and again, it's just someone who is experimenting with a product. But look at this. So it's not perfect, not at all, but last night I was able to actually, I felt like I could experiment. I was a little bit braver to try new things. And the other thing is that I came back within the same week. And so what does this tell me is that kids need encouragement. Kids need explicit instruction. Kids need a chance to create on their own. So we have to be willing to have an idea of differentiated projects. We have to have the idea that the end product doesn't have to look the same for the student to be successful. And that we also have to have the idea that it's always a growing activity. It's not something that, okay, it's once and done. Aren't we supposed to take kids on a continuum and bring them as far as they can? In fact, we're just supposed to be the guides. They could probably outshine me. In fact, I know my students could do way better than that. So I used a simple example just to show you about some of the things that I'm reflecting on as I prepare to go back to a new school this year. As I work with new teachers, as I work with new students, we can always improve. That is our path. We aren't stagnant. If we're not improving, we're going the opposite way. My mind's at a blank. So our goal is always to look at ourselves, reflect, and think what went well, and how can I improve that? Even if it went well, how can you involve more people? What kind of feedback can I collect? And if there were some instances that didn't go well, or some phrases or anything that you think might have affected your student, you have the next day to correct it and to work on that, because we're just people. But, had I not had this experience, I've seen Pinot's Palette advertised for a long time, probably 3 years. And I'd always say, yeah, that sounds fun. And then I thought, I don't think my product will look like that product. Okay, so it doesn't. But I had a lot of fun. In fact, now I want to go back again because I'll tell you, the teacher made the difference. I had a lot of fun. Everything was set up. Again, what made the difference? Everything was organized. The teacher had a plan. The teacher had a model. The teacher had the exemplar. And then she had some allowances for in between. And so as we think about this, I mean, we can take anything in life and actually make it a reflection either on our spiritual life, or we can make it a reflection on our personal life or our professional life. And so that's my reflection for today. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you disagree. Anyway, I can't wait to do my next picture. All right. Have a good day, and thanks for tuning in. I would like to hear your reflections. All right. Bye-bye. Oh, one last thing. Happy last day of June. Bye-bye.